Good morning, everybody. So here we are again, and we are doing the finishing touches, more or less, of our landscape here in Manhattan Beach. So what we have here is we have the landscape fabric that's being laid. You can say they call it a geotextile fabric. This thing, nothing's going to get through it. It's pretty thick and durable. It's not like the plastic you get at the big box stores. And we staple it down with these big 6-inch galvanized staples. You can see we have the same thing over here. We're gonna do it over here. We put the drip irrigation underneath the fabric. That way it penetrates through. And you can see these plants. These are Lomandra Breeze, in case you're interested in knowing. They're actually planted high because, remember, they've got to match the sidewalk there. Once it's all finished, it's all going to be done. This is the composite border that we're putting in. It never wears out. It's a forever thing, along with the DG. That's that orange earth that we're going to put in. Over here, this is completely done. These are the plants that were planted. And I can scoot away from here, and you can actually see there's drip irrigation. See, there it is. So we put about 3-inch layer of this, and the ground, the soil food web actually does eat it up. And over here, they're laying the fabric. You don't lay fabric underneath the mulch because there's a gas oxygen exchange that needs to go on. So you want to make sure you don't inhibit that in any way. A kind of interesting thing. So there's a gutter there. They actually put the gutter inside the pillar and then it comes out. Really cool idea. And so the whole goal of water in a landscape is to slow the water down. And so that's what we're doing here. There's another downspout, it's a little bigger, so we ran it all the way here to the sidewalk, but this is definitely going to slow it down. Over here we have the guys that are putting they're nailing, stapling in the fabric. Then, hello, miss. This over here, this is the decomposed granite. So it's a great idea of how things are done in the real world. A lot of people are doing the Cash for Grass program, and they're just putting a few plants, taking out the grass, putting in a few plants, and then gravel. But the problem with gravel is that the gravel actually warms up the house. And so now Los Angeles, it's been getting really super hot in the summertime, 100 plus. And you just don't want to have gravel around, or you want to minimize the amount of gravel you have. So right here, the gentleman's actually pulling the soil right next to the composite border away. That way he can put 3 inches of gravel, or 3 inches, of the mini bark. So you can see here, this is already finished. DG is going to go in here, and here we have the Rainbird valves. That's where all the drip irrigation is connected to. And there's a brass valve there because we're going to put a pollinator fountain over here where that red flag is. So also, you want to make sure that the plants you're using try to use as many natives as possible. This is called a hummingbird sage. Gosh, we love hummingbirds, don't we? And this, no, it's not dead. This is just asleep. It's a deciduous tree. Cercis, they call it, forest pansy. Over here, these are actually Australian grasses. These are native to Australia, but they're like desert cactus. They don't need any water or very little water once they're established. This is an air relief valve underneath this cap here, and there's the end of the line. You want to make sure that when you do a end of the line, when you do a landscape, you want to make sure you keep track of where all these end of the lines are, because you want to come back in a year and just open up the valve and let any debris that passes the filters to let it out. Very important to do that, and it helps with the longevity of your system. It'll pretty much last almost forever if you do that. So you can see how this actually turned out. It's kind of have an island effect. The designer did a really good job on this. The orange earth, this decomposed granite, it's really cool. There's a front door, and it's whimsical, very, very whimsical. And right here we actually have the seaside daisies. These are California natives. you probably didn't know that Erigeron, you probably didn't know that there were such pretty natives, but yeah, they are. So you can see over here, they've actually covered the plants, but then they're gonna cut holes so that the landscape can, the plants can breathe. And so all this is gonna get done. Anyway, just some ideas on what you can do for your landscape rather than just putting gravel down. Help the pollinators. The more natives we plant, we're actually helping the pollinators. And so I'll leave it here at this. But these are the basics. If you want to do an award-winning landscaping, this is what needs to be done for the health of our planet and for our future. Thanks for joining. Take care.